Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hermione and I make videos about eco-conscious living, vlogs, and DIYs. This is half a vlog, half tips and tricks of going to the Eras Tour. I went to the Eras Tour on May 28th in East Rutherford, New Jersey at the MetLife Stadium. My surprise songs were Clean and Welcome to New York. This was the first concert I've ever been to, so this was a really fun experience and I had so much fun meeting so many other Swifties and trading friendship bracelets and things like that. So if you're going to the Eras Tour, continue watching to find out what I did to maximize my concert experience, and also, traffic and lines for merch and things like that, and basically how the whole scheduling thing worked out because it is pretty chaotic. So the first thing I want to talk about is the scheduling for this whole entire thing. For my show, the gates opened at 4:30, but the actual concert started at 6:30 and Taylor came on at 8. The opening time of the gates might be different for your show, so make sure to do a lot of research with checking your venue's website, checking what they say on things like Instagram, and watching videos like these to find out what other people's concert experience was like. So I actually ended up leaving the house at 2:30, which you might think is really early, but the stadium is an hour away from my house without any traffic, and I wanted to get like an early dinner sort of thing before. So there was actually a Five Guys that was right next to the stadium, which was really great because the timing worked out perfectly and I was able to eat some things. And on the way to the actual stadium, like really close to it, there's a lot of traffic, like a whole car line, because there was an accident and that took a long time to get out of. So just leave as much space as possible for, traffic and things like that, because you never know when things are gonna happen. I also wanted to leave the house early in the first place because of these CDs, which at the time you could only get at the East Rutherford shows, and I was really lucky that she picked, East Rutherford to be the first place to carry these CDs. You're Losing Me on it and all, it's a great song if you haven't listened to it. And this CD brings me to the next thing, which is merch. So if you want merch that's not the CDs, like, the tour poster and things like that, then definitely get them online afterwards because they send you a 15% discount code after the show, which is something you really want to use because Taylor Swift merch is expensive. But for things like this, which are like, show exclusive that you can't get anywhere else, I had to wait in line for an hour. And actually an hour is not a lot because when I first got to the stadium, there was like a whole line of people beyond like the actual barriers of the fence. Basically, like, I swear that line stretched for miles, like all around the stadium. So I actually ended up skipping the openers to get these CDs, which is kind of sad because, these are up-and-coming artists. I'm sure they're really great, especially, Phoebe Bridgers and Owen. They were my show's openers. And if it was someone like Gracie Abrams, I definitely wouldn't have skipped, but I did end up skipping it in order to get the CD. So in terms of what you can bring to the stadium, definitely bring a clear bag because I'm pretty sure all stadiums have the clear bag policy, although I think the dimensions vary for which stadium you're going to, so definitely, again, check your stadium's website and the restrictions, read the entire A to Z guide, what's allowed, what's not allowed, and also make sure to check your email and check your spam in case they send out anything else before the show. This is the bag that I used for the show. I don't know the exact dimensions, but I got it off of Amazon. MetLife allows you to bring in plastic water bottles that are sealed, so I got one that fit perfectly in here. If I got a bigger size, then it would not have fit. And inside the bag, along with the water bottle, I put 2 snacks. I think it was like a mini Chips Ahoy and something else, maybe Nutter Butter, because my stadium also allowed people to bring in snacks. But again, not all stadiums will allow this, so make sure to check your stadium's website. And something that's very important that I definitely would not go to the concert without is a charging bank. This is just something that I had at home. I'm not really sure how much charge this holds, but it worked, and I still had some charge left over at the end of the concert, so my phone was not dying and I was able to take lots of photos and videos with it. Along with that, I brought a camera. This is my little handheld non-professional camera because my stadium did allow non-professional cameras like these. And what's cool about this is that it actually has 40x zoom, so I was able to take some pretty good high quality pictures of the concert. And if you want to make friendship bracelets to trade with other Swifties, I also highly recommend that because you get to meet new people and trade bracelets. I made around 13 friendship bracelets, and one I kept for myself because I really liked it, and it was Karma is a cat, and then you see this little cat charm over here. And these are the bracelets that I traded and I got from other people during the tour, which I think is really cool because these are people from, different places, different areas of New York and New Jersey, and they all use different beads because they're made by different people. So here's a little friendship bracelet haul. This one is made with this shiny silver thread and it's very stretchy and it says, "You're on your own, kid." And then here you can see the beads are kind of pinkish. And this one says Karma is a cat, and it uses these really thin disc-like beads in all sorts of colors. And this one says Sparks Fly, and it's kind of blue, white, and purple theme. And this one is one of my favorites. It says Ivy, and it's made with these really pretty greenish, white, glassy sort of beads. And this one says You Need to Calm Down, and it's made with rainbow beads. This one says Style, and it's another one of my favorites. It has these metal heart things and also these metal rod sort of beads. This one says Reputation, and it's made with these black rhinestone sort of things. This one says Bad Blood and is made with red and black beads. This is the first bracelet I got, and it says A Diamond's Gotta Shine, and it's made with these silver and white sort of beads. Anyway, that was my little bracelet haul, and now let's move on to something else that is really important, which is the clothing, because we all know we have to dress well for an Eras tour. I dressed as Reputation, so I wore this sparkly shirt with black leggings and also black flats. Make sure you have comfortable shoes because, you know, you're gonna be dancing, you're gonna be singing, you're gonna be walking around all around the stadium, and you really want comfortable shoes for that. This shirt I actually borrowed from my mom, so I didn't have to buy a new thing for it. So if you can, borrow or thrift something for your Eras tour outfit, because it's very likely you're not going to wear things again, you know, especially if they're this sparkly. And another aspect of the Eras tour outfit is also makeup, which is really fun to do. And I did Reputation, but sort of like a simple look. I didn't draw a snake on my face or anything like that. So I mainly used this palette by Pacifica. It's the Stellar Gaze eyeshadow palette, and it has a lot of colors and things like that. And the cool thing about this is that the packaging is made out of paper, and also this part slides out so you can throw that out. So if you're looking for a nice multi-purpose palette, then this is really good. I use the shade Star, which is this sparkly black, to draw an eyeliner with this EcoTools flat brush sort of thing. And then I use the e.l.f. lip stain in the shade Power Mauve to create sort of like a base layer for my lips. This is what it looks like. And then I used this purple Revlon lipstick. This is also not mine. It's actually my mom's. She got it for Halloween, but she hasn't really used it since, and I just kind of stole it for the concert. And mixing these two together created a sort of reddish, purpley sort of shade. I also put this lipstick in the front pocket of my concert bag in order to touch up after eating and stuff like that. So this is the one thing that I want you to take away from this video if you're going to the Eras tour. Do a lot of research because you're going to need it, and you want to be prepared and not surprised or anything like that, because there's gonna be traffic, there's gonna be long lines for basically everything. Don't get food at the stadium because there are insanely long lines for that. But anyway, check how close you are or far you are from the stadium and plan accordingly. Give yourself a lot of time in case there's traffic, and also plan what parking lot you're gonna park in, because I'm pretty sure each stadium has multiple littered parking lots. I'm really jumping around topics here, but let's go to the Eras Tour concert experience itself. So in terms of filming, I mean, I feel like I overfilmed. Like, I kind of filmed like a lot of it, but if you wanted to, you could film a lot, but I feel like it would be better for a concert experience if you only filmed, like, you know, the TikTok worthy parts, like part of Champagne Problems and part of All Too Well and Don't Blame Me and things like that. But just make sure you're having a good time and not worrying about getting like the best footage you possibly can. And if you are gonna film, make sure to turn down your exposure. This is a trick that actually helps so much with the quality of my videos. I was sitting in the lower bowl, so I had a really good view of the stage and I could actually see Taylor, but turning down the exposure made the video quality even better. And yeah, overall, have fun at the Eras Tour because it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. By the way, in case you haven't noticed, I kind of played around with the lighting today to add more lights, so let me know if you think the video quality is better or worse than my previous ones. Also, I got a haircut, so that's why my hair looks shorter. Thanks for watching! Bye!